Hello, and I wanted to take you into the point of pause, the point of blissful retrospect, where you can feel yourself connect with your inner being. If you imagine a space of self where time stands still, where there's a non existence of action and non existence of thought. And in that space, in that moment, in that present, you can experience ultimate surrender, ultimate being of self that allows you to center in and come into alignment with the new uh, upgraded vibrational frequency of your being. And so in that moment, in this moment, when the stillness has voice, in that moment, you can find yourself, experience your wholeness, the entirety of you. That is the representation of the universe, all within the pause of the retrospect. And in that pause, you can discover unlimited potential. You can discover worlds within worlds. You can discover unlimited nuance. You can discover unlimited expression of self that then you would then express as your way of being into the potentiality of life. And so within the potential of you, within the unlimited potential of you then at some point within the retrospect have a choice of what is the potential of self you are or will be choosing to bring forth as your alignment with a divine will. And so the choice of that expression sits within your own outlook of what it means to be you. And the expression of that choice is then quite literally is your expression of being of self in any one moment, plane, or time. And so the thing to point out is the expression of self that you can choose to have is in fact endless. And the outcomes which you can choose to express are then too endless. And the range of the emotional cues that you can choose to call your home are also endless. And thus, if you dive into all the endless possibility of you, the expression of you, the emotional range of you, that endless, the ability of endless, then can, and sooner or later in the past, would take on its own form. And the form of endlessness within itself loses conceptuality of the space of which it came from. So the endless nature of your choice, the endless nature of your expression, and the endless nature of your interpretation of the expression of the divine that is you takes over in its endless form, and thus forgetting takes place. And the process of that self-discovery, the process of that self-expression, that is the essence of you in any one moment, despite the forgetting at all times, carries the expression of the divine. That is your source. That is your endless being. And so at some point in life, at this point in life, you will become aware of the two notions. The notion that the endless expression of self is your truth, is your potential, and is your way of being into this world. And at the same instance, you would also have the knowledge of the choice that you put out in order to have the endless be your truth. And so the existence of self at this point of this choice, carries not only awareness of the endless and not only awareness of the choice, but also the choice of knowing and remembering and recognizing the concept of endless and the concept of choice. And so it is a different plane of observation. It is a different plane of existence in the moment in which you are the expression of the endless being. You recognize the choice of that expression. And then simultaneously, within the same moment in time, then you recognize you have a new choice. And that choice is choice to remember and to recognize the choice and the endless. And so as you ascend up and start to overlook multitude of nuances, if that is you, that is the expression of you, there will come moments where you can halt expression, or where you can overlook the choice and overlook the endless. And then in the moment of time, choose to then go into a completely different expression of self, into a completely different choice, into a completely different expression. And so that larger third point of self then creates more expression, and it creates more possibilities, and it creates more ways for you to still yet express the choice of the divine into its endless form, but within the endless possibility of that interpretation. And so you're taken basically what might be looked at as one set linear expression of choice and endless in this time and space, in this expression of being, and then becoming aware of the endless interpretations of that one set of linear interpretations. And so what's becoming available to you through this larger retrospect is multitude of rays of expression that have at all times been your true form, but in the past have been cloaked from your own set of awareness by choice. And thus the new choice of the recognition of the choice offers you more perspectives. It opens linear interpretation. It opens multidimensional interpretation. It opens planes of self, existences of self that in the past would have been abstract or uncalled, but now henceforth become accessible to you as new realities. And so recognize that multidimensional rays in observation through the knowledge that all of this progression still within itself carries the essence of the divine expression into the choice of self. And then that choice, being an endless interpretation of the divine, then carries forth expression. And then see yourself in this overarching aspect, choosing to see the choice and choosing to see the expression. And through that new choice, through that larger overlook of choice, then you start to open yourself up to parallels, to multitude of expressions of choice. That is your divine expression of your being. And so there's just something to see and know and acknowledge, and then something that I will expand on further. But this is the overarching interpretation of what is the new truth that you're experiencing in this moment, in this time. There's a beauty to be held in the knowledge of a choice. And then there's beauty to be held in the predicament that comes up when the choice of knowledge brings on unexpected circumstances. And so that expression of you is held in that beauty. It is held in that tranquil space. That is the truth of your being, regardless of any one position of self that you may choose to see the reflection of the divine in. And so recognize the possession of truth and its innate existence at all points in time and space as you start to explore larger nuance, more nuance, more vivid interpretations of self that you have not felt before. And so carry it forth with grace and beauty, and give yourself space to acknowledge and explore the true next level nature of your existence. And so beauty will be there at all times. Happy exploring.